Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. It has gotten a little snowy here, as you can see, but that's not really why I'm making this video. As you guys must know by now, unfortunately, things didn't stay exclusively peaceful in Washington, D.C., like I had hoped it would. Of course, it also wasn't the worst, most violent outcome that you could have imagined, given the state of affairs. But nevertheless, it is, of course, a tragedy what happened. But it goes without saying, and technically I don't have to stress this or to mention this anymore, but you all remember how the media reported about the peaceful protesting of the other side in the summer, for example, of 2020. We all know that they run interference for leftists, and they how should I say that, they twist the facts, or they say, oh, vandalism or aggression against things and property is not really a bad thing anymore in the current year, and even intimidation and worse, it's understandable. Can't you understand that these people are frustrated and angry, blah, 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 right? But when a right-winged or conservative or patriotic group is engaging in a little bit of peaceful protesting themselves, then the T word is used, yeah, and then the N word is used, the other N word, of course, and you can expect some drastic measures. I mean, Trump said Hillary should be in jail and all these things, but he never did anything. I don't think that the other side will be that forgetful. I think you will see purge after purge and persecution of dissidents in the United States, and they will use this as an excuse, like they did in Germany. It seems like, or it's pretty safe actually to say, that the Democrats will control the Senate, and I am no legal expert or no US politics expert really, but that means that Joe Biden, when he will become president, I think we can say when now, not necessarily if, I think he will be much stronger than some people still believed. I mean, the Democrats at least. I mean, not Biden personally, of course. We all know that he's just a puppet, and he barely can formulate a full sentence or even a coherent thought. No, but the Democrats, or the people who handle Biden, who put him there, those people, they will be very powerful now. And I think it's pretty much over. And you might say that the Republic is dead for a long time already, but now it is officially over, I would say. Yeah, and I don't mean to sound defeatist. I mean, I'm not an American, I just outlined several times why me, as a German, as a European, why I would have preferred a Donald Trump, even though he's in the end from the same club, of course, as the Democrats, as Biden is. There is not a huge difference, but there were some policy differences that I appreciated. For example, he wanted to bring the troops home, and these military misadventures, like we saw under Bush and Obama, were not real. And Clinton, might I say also. When was there ever such a peaceful time? That was quite absent. So not so many military misadventures. And just imagine or just think about, why do we have so many irregular travelers in Germany? Or how was this started? I mean, now it's just because, word has gotten around in the far corners of the globe that you get something for free in Germany. But how did it start back then? Yeah, it was, of course, US military intervention in many of those places. And that created a lot of people who were on the move. Yeah, and they were directed, let's say, by good Samaritans to Europe, to Germany. Yeah, so and this will happen again, I fear. This is exactly what we will be seeing again. And that is maybe the most important thing. And I also mentioned as a second, not so important point from my personal German point of view, bringing back manufacturing to America. That would have been great. I don't think that will happen. I think Biden is also firmly, yeah, maybe not controlled, but China has a lot on him, let's say, and yeah, he will not be tough on China, I'm sure. So I think more manufacturing will go to China. That trend that was briefly stopped under Trump, that is at least how I saw it. This is the news that I read at least, were suggesting that manufacturing did in fact come back to the US. I think that will be turned back, and you will see a lot of jobs for middle class and working class people to go abroad. And you will never probably get these jobs back. Maybe Trump was the last chance to get these jobs back and to keep them in the US. Yeah, but just look at these Democrats, look at these progressives. I mean, do you think these people even know a guy who works a factory job or who is like an engineer or something like that? I don't think so. They don't strike me as the people who know how wealth is created and how a supply chain works. You know, they get their money from the taxpayer. They are basically taken care of by the taxpayer through redistribution. They're a luxury version of a welfare recipient. Yeah, they do pretend work. That is the difference. They don't just sit around and collect a welfare check, but they're going to the office to sit around. Let's say, let's say that. They have meetings and stuff, right? Yeah, but in the end, the taxpayer has to provide for them. So they're completely decoupled from the production process. So don't think that these people will, yeah, care about the middle class and the working class. They have demonstrated time and time again that they don't care, and part of that is that they shipped all those jobs abroad. Okay, so a lot of people said that before, and I don't know who in particular phrased it like that. I cannot quote this, of course, but I found this image rather, yeah, disturbing and very precise. It's like they infiltrated our institutions and they took all the flesh and the bones and the organs out, and they're wearing the skin of our institutions like a like a suit or something like that, right? And they're looking through the holes where the eyes were at us, basically. This is like if our institutions were bodies, they would have infiltrated them like a intruder, like a parasite, and then they ate it out from the inside, and they're looking at us through the holes where the eyes were, and they wear our institutions, like the parliament, like the courts, the political parties even, they're wearing these institutions like a skin suit. And it's just the name, and it's just the building that remains, maybe. Yeah? So we pretend as if our institutions still exist, but they don't. At least well, at least not really. I mean, not in the way that they were set up. They're not fulfilling the functions. They're not working in the way that they were intended to work. Yes, as I said, the name still exists, or sometimes even that has been changed, by the way. In Germany, there are many examples for that. Or the building still exists, but they're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah. So these people, and a big part of that, not the only part, but a big part, was of course this hippie generation, the generation of '68, the student revolution types, the communists that wanted to march through the institutions. And yes, they did that, and they won. And this is what you see now. So expect no mercy. There will not be any mercy. We can see that in Germany for a long time. And now in the US, it will be the same. And, once again, I might be wrong. I don't want to be defeatist and alarmist, but I get a lot of comments from Americans, and I got a lot of comments over the years, and a lot were like, oh, you Germans, you are so cocked, you are so brainwashed. Oh, at least we have Trump, and we have our, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, our Constitution, and, the right to do this, the right to do that. Yeah, but what are these rights? What is the Constitution? What are your laws? I mean, we have a Constitution in Germany. I mean, it's called by a different name. It's called the Basic Law, the Grundgesetz, but it works like a Constitution. I don't want to get into that argument now. But, of course, we have laws too. And you have laws too. But what does that really do? What does a law really do when all the judges and the police chief and the and the prosecutors and then the state attorneys and what their names are, right? The sheriff and I think judges are also important, right? When all of these people, when they think that those laws should actually be changed, but it's just a minor technicality that they haven't been changed yet, but let's pretend as if they had been changed. And then you get situations like, oh yeah, sure, you have the right to self-defense as long as you don't actually do it, because when you actually do it, well, then you go to jail, right? So, see, I mean, what does the Constitution help if all the powerful people, all the elites, all the people who make the decisions in the end, when they have a different opinion or they interpret it in a way that is completely perverted, that is not in the actual intention and of the law or of this article or the amendment, what have you, and when they can always use mental acrobatics and twist it and spin it in a way with sophistry that, oh, in fact, actually, if you interpret this word now like that, and that word nowadays means actually this, oh, then, right? So I think I have made myself clear. Your precious constitution and your precious laws will not help you, because the people who control your institutions are not your people, and they don't like you. They want you gone. So there is nothing you can do. You can't hide behind a piece of paper. A piece of paper doesn't protect you, okay? Maybe, I don't know, what protects? What protects? Think about that. Maybe 20 millimeters of steel. Maybe that protects, huh? All right. So, there is a little more I have to say, but I think I saved that for another video today. I want to leave it at that, or for this time I want to leave it at that. Servus, Kameraden.